Hello, future, dream the something or other. Hi, Chief Rebel here. Sunday brain. Don't know what I'm doing, but anyway, we're here, and I'm allegedly going to be interviewing somebody and trying to be sensible and knitting my brain together. So thank you to all four of you who've turned up so far. And we are here to interview one of my most supportive master rebels that I've ever had, and that is Lisa AVINS.
Hi, baby. How are you?
I'm good, girl. You?
Good. I couldn't decide then whether you looked like a boxer or Obi-Wan Kenobi or Kermit when he was Vader. It's kind of between the three. Just for to dream the future.
I think probably being that Kermit is a Muppet, that would have been the closest bet.
And we've got
definitely not a boxer. Definitely not a boxer. I'm a lover, not a fighter, as you know. And, I haven't got enough skill to be Obi.
Mind control, that'd be good.
I can do that. I can definitely do that.
Yeah. Just kill somebody from across the room just with a little pincer movement. Yeah, that'd be quite a fun power. I'd play with that power quite regularly.
Anywho, so welcome Rebels and Rule Breakers, and welcome to anybody else who's watching from outside the Facebook group. If you fancy a little bit more of this madness, I do sort of know what I'm doing most of the time, then come and join us in the Facebook group. So feel free to comment and come talk to us as we go throughout the interview. We've already got people saying, hey, wahoo, and Kermit for sure. I don't know who that person is though. But thank you for your support.
See, same wavelength. Bring your questions as well. Fancy answering some questions tonight.
Oh, good, yeah. Well, that's a challenge, isn't it? So Lisa is prepared to answer questions. So
on anything.
Let's test her. Huh? So, hi Tracy, darling. It's Tracy being
hi, gorgeous
supporter.
It's supporter. Just only about sums it up on a Sunday evening at this time. Yeah,
I knew I shouldn't have scheduled these for a Sunday. I just can't put my brain in the right place. I've hardly spoken to any other humans today. Well, I haven't spoken to any other humans today, so I sort of get to this point in the day, and the only people I've spoken to were the dog. So, well, he's not even a people, is he?
Kind of. He's got his unique personality, hasn't he?
He certainly has got that
at the moment. He's stroppy teenager.
Very much so. And that is partly why I'm doing a shit job already tonight, because my brain is like mush because I've not had any sleep properly. Well, I have. Last 2 nights it's been better, but the 3 nights before that I got no sleep.
Yes.
I'm having a regime change in the Chief Rebel household, by the way, because the little fluffy one is being. Where is he? He's being very challenging. Look at him there, being all sweet.
Sweet and innocent. Cute.
Yeah, look at him.
Hi.
He knows, don't you? You little horror. Anyway. So let's crack on. Lisa, let's tell the audience, those who don't know you or know a little bit about you, who the heck are you? Give us a little potted history of Lisa Avins, also known as the Aviator, her life, and how you've got to where you are right now.
God, jeez. That's a tall order, that, isn't it? So, hi, I'm Lisa. I'm an alcoholic. Wrong meeting. No, I am. Who am I? I'm just, as I tell everybody, I'm just me. Nothing important, nothing special, just me.
No, you are just you. You are important and you are special.
Do what I do. So, I am a wife. I am a mum of two amazing squirrelies. I'm a friend. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But yeah, I'm a people. I'm going to say people worker then.
A people worker.
People.
I don't know what one of them is.
I work with people, so one of my big passions in life is people and the development of people and the growth of people, and it's a career that I've had for 17 years. That makes me feel really, really old. But at the heart of it,
very expert at it. That's what it is.
I try. Most of the time, I've got a T-shirt that says "winging it," and I think that should just be my mantra in life. I just, I'm winging it. There's no script to my life. I am just winging it. But no, I'm a deeply passionate person and throw myself into everything that I do with absolute gusto. I'm very bloody loud. And I tried, I wake up and on a Monday, I think Monday, new start, diet starts every Monday. That always starts. Drinking less starts on a Monday. But then I think, right, do you know what? I'm going to be more reflective. I'm going to be quieter. And I'm going to be a bit more demure. It never happens because there's something in my brain that ticks over that goes, your mouth is going to start running before I engage up here. Be prepared, lady. But yeah, I am. But do you know what? I'm comfortable with that now. So I am 42 this week. I know I don't look it. I almost look as good as our Nadia. Almost. Almost. And I've kind of got to that comfortable age of actually, I'm not just talking for the sake of talking. If I've got something to say, I really want you to listen and take on board. So yeah, that's a very small snapshot. Born and bred in Leeds. Yeah. Proud Yorkshire lass.
Good Yorkshire lass. Yeah, and that is very much tip of the iceberg, isn't it? Because I've known you for a while now, and I always find it interesting when you talk about this. I'm loud and I'm this and I'm that. I don't see you that way as well at all, and I think I think you're quite hard on yourself about that. Actually, you are. Yeah, you are, and you've got charisma. You're not a wallflower by any means. You make out like you're and H is saying so much more than that. I totally agree, Howard. You make out like you're sort of like really brash and clumsy and in your face. And actually, I don't think you are at all. You're very emotionally intelligent. You're very articulate. You're extremely empathic, and I just wonder where that came from. This self-perception that you're.
Oh, do you know? It's something that I've been very, very aware of all of my life. I'm the eldest of 6 siblings. And to be heard, you've got to bloody shout over that rabble. Otherwise, you're never going to be heard. TV would always be blaring out. Your mother would always be screaming at some child for doing something wrong. So to be heard, you would be loud. And then you go through, don't you? And you go through school and you're in a gaggle full of 30 children. And then you start getting your school reports and you start being aware of what people are saying about you. And from that kind of small age of 6-year-old, even to very, very recent years, it's been, you don't have to be the loudest in the room. Oh, God, Lisa could be much better if she applied herself and didn't talk as much. Right, okay. Oh, with that accent, how did you get as far as you did with your career? Because you sound really common.
Who said that to you?
Oh, I've had that said to me. I have had.
How many times?
Well, twice, notably. Twice from 2 were important people in my life. One was at university, where I was stopped from giving a presentation because of my accent.
What an asshole!
Sounded common. And it was a few years ago when we were talking careers and everything else. And I am super proud of my career. I've worked my way up from that bottom level. And you know, I'm not going to do myself a disservice. I am intelligent. I've got a master's degree in psychology. I love everything to do with the brain. But yeah, to be kind of then judged because of how you sound. So I've always been very aware of that, and I've always tried to draw it back in terms of actually, all right, let other people speak, because being a very, very empathic person, which as you know, can cripple you at times, can absolutely cripple you at times. And when I sit in a room and I can see a group of people kind of uncomfortable and in an uncomfortable space, I want to take them out of that uncomfortable space. So yeah, I will talk, but it's not just noise. I do genuinely have something to add or something to say or something to bring to the table, because when I don't, and I'm sat back and reflecting and listening, I will do that reflective piece. We did a piece of work the other week, didn't we? And we had the lovely Mark James with us, and he was just like this creative mind of just pow, 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 pow. I was literally sat back going, this is great. I've got nothing more to add because this is bloody great. So it's been,
but it's knowing that when you're in a room with people like that, it's the collective energy that makes that creativity come out.
Yeah,
like it's something like I've created so many things just by being in a room with someone else, even if it seemingly might, you know, it might seem they're not, you know, it's just their presence sometimes and the support.
And you know what I think throughout my, and within my marriage, it's been an absolutely brilliantly positive thing, because if anyone was to ever meet my husband personality wise, well, like that, you couldn't get two people probably further apart, but our souls are so intertwined and so interlinked. It's unreal. There's a real soul connection there. But he will proactively say, we go to a social function, I am pushing you into that room first while I have a couple of beers. Off you go. I'm behind you, because that's his kind of protected wall. Because I'll go and go, I'm Lisa, who are you? I'm Lisa, what do you do?
Yeah.
So
you have a natural curiosity about people though as well, don't you?
Massively. And that's why, you know, being a Master Rebel and kind of, I was one of the OGs back in the day.
You're right.
It's been amazing because of the people that I've met. So when we started back in the day, and we had Rippers, and we had Mr. Witten, and we had the absolutely adorable and admittable MK, it was all these characters mushed together where I thought, wow, look at these people.
Very different mix that was, wasn't it?
Oh, that was a huge different mix. And from all of those people, I have learned so much. And then we swifted it up. And then we've got a different set of characters, and we've got Tracy, we've got Jamie, we've got Paul, we've got Nadia, where even every single one of them, I'm like, oh wow, this is a whole new set of people to get to know and to learn something from. Because one of the things I think, if you stop learning from other people, and if you stop looking at other people and thinking they are freaking amazing, you might as well go find a hole and just sit in it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, go and be a monk on top of a mountain. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is an amazing mix. We've always had really different people as part of the Master Rebel team, and you know, it was really obvious to me when we first met, whenever it was in the last couple of years.
Wow.
You know, we got on like a house on fire. You know, got a lot in common. Our birthdays are the same day, which is just so crazy. By the
Friday the 3rd of June, everybody send the love, and the gin and the champagne. No.
So you know, when it came to creating a team, it seemed, you know, really obvious to me that you would be definitely a natural choice, like you say, for as one of the OGs. And you know, it's really, the whole thing's changed, hasn't it, really? So you've been in it from really early stages. You're now part of my Rebel Inspire strategy team. So Rebel Inspire being the work that we do with SMEs. And that's a massive big deal to me that you're with me on that journey. So, you know, being a master rebel and being in the community and doing some of the work that we do elsewhere as well, what does that mean to you? What's it brought to you, other than, you know, that kind of mix of personalities and stuff?
It's brought a different level of thinking. So I'm going to be vulnerable here. Watch out, world. Here it comes.
Love it.
I kind of, when we said we were doing these interviews and we all booked in, I kind of thought about everybody else. And this is a terrible aspect of my personality, where I compare myself to other people constantly. Everything from looks and size to thinking and kind of how people run their everyday life. I'm one of those awful people on social media who goes, God, look at the Saturday that they're having. It looks amazing. It's probably not. They put that picture on for 3 years ago. I'm aware of that. I know that. I'm an intelligent being. So when we set up this interview, obviously we had Nadia, Tracy's and Jamie's before, and I was like, what? How am I going to follow this? And I even messaged our lovely Mrs. O'Rourke and went, I'm going to cancel this because I'm really boring.
I had no idea.
But you know what? And then kind of sat back and thought, actually, that's a superpower in itself, because I'm not. And it kind of gave me that bing, because I thought, actually, I'm not boring. I've spent a lot of years going through a lot of hardship and a lot of bad things that actually I am content and I'm settled. So all of a sudden, the true Lisa is coming to the forefront and going, hey, look at what I can do. Look at what I can say.
Oh, God, I love that.
So it's given that platform to it, and it's also completely changed my mindset in a lot of ways. So I used to say a lot of the time, oh, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky that I got this promotion, and I'm so lucky that I've got 2 fantastic girls, and I'm so lucky that I've got a wonderful husband, and blah, 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 blah. Look. And I kind of sat back with everything we do as rebels, and I also did some workshops with Rippers, which were just mind-blowing. And I would never, ever, ever tell anybody I'm lucky anymore. I'm grateful that I've worked as hard as I've done to receive what I receive. I'm grateful that I've got a wonderful, loving family, because in return, I'm wonderful and loving to them. So I'm very, very grateful for everything that I put out to the universe and everything I receive back. And I don't think that would have come without the rebel movement, because it's that word, isn't it? When people see that word, rebel, they go, oh God, you got your Doc Martens on and a Mohican, and you're out there with your placards and your disestablishment, and you hate the monarchy, and you bloody love the monarchy. I absolutely.
So, especially when she has a jubilee on our birthday.
Exactly. Well, you know, we've got to help her celebrate somehow, haven't we? And it was that realignment of thinking in terms of, actually, let's think about things differently. And I think subliminally, that's what Rebels and Rule Breakers does. But then it takes it to the next level with the Rebel Yell Club, where it's, okay, I'm going to work a little bit more personally on me. That's the catalyst of change. This is now, okay, let's take it a little bit further.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
yeah, it's
it is, you know, it's that sort of, I like the way you describe that. It's that little bit further, you know, it's as far as you want to go. It's as out of your comfort zone as you want to go. It's all by choice, isn't it? And there's as much growth there as you would want to get, you know.
And I think that the changes that I'm seeing in other people, so one of the people I'm really proud of, and I haven't mentioned her yet, but our lovely Master Rebel, our Cheryl, our lovely Cheryl.
She's the next one, or the
I think she next couple of weeks.
Yeah, either Paul or Cheryl next. I can't remember which, but I'm really looking forward to that.
And she kind of, because I kind of did the, look at this great thing I'm involved with. And she was like, oh, okay, I'll have a look at that. And it's just been like, and the conversations that we have, and you know, the change that I can see in her, and probably the change she can see in me as well, is down to this amazing movement that suddenly exploded a couple of years ago. So it's great to see a positive impact on other people as well, and how they've kind of gone, ooh, okay, this is a bit different.
You know, it's the people who've benefited from that are people have done that themselves. You know, yourself, Cheryl, and the others. It's you know, you've taken an opportunity that's been created, and that, you know, my only part in that really is creating that opportunity. But you know, you can lead a horse to water. That horse has got to want the personal growth, hasn't it? Though, you know, he's got to do the hard work. So you all as horses are drinking the water.
Come on, you horses.
Like that nice unpaid advert, by the way. So Rebel Yell Club, for those of you who aren't aware, is sort of the membership coaching experience version of it's like the next level up from Rebels and Rule Breakers. Yeah. And also, hi Cheryl, we're just talking about you. Did you hear us talking about you? Sexy ladies we are. Also, with a reference, we've talked about Rippers a couple of times. Those of you who don't know who Rippers is, she is Ripley Fletcher is her full name, and she's a psychic medium, light worker, amazing coach. And actually, that doesn't even cover the half of it, because Ripley is extremely unique and very different in that whole market of sort of, you know, light workers and so on. And I too have been on her courses, and they are absolutely fabulous. So feel free to go check her out. She's on Smoky Quartz Readings. She's all over the Insta, the gram. What do they call it? The children? The young people of the world, do they call it? I don't know.
Is she an influencer? Would we class her as an influencer? That's the big thing now, isn't it?
Yeah, hell yes, we would. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
an influencer. Yeah. Nadia's saying, I'm thirsty all the time. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, whether they're just telling us how the physiological,
get some water, darling.
Right now. Oh, it's the horse and the water.
Boom.
Yes, you are, Nadia. You are a thirsty horse. Anyone who's joining right now is going to be like, what the hell?
Feed the horse, Nadia. Feed the horse.
Nadia is drinking in that personal growth. Now it all makes sense. Okay, so you know, we've talked a little bit about your journey to becoming your full unapologetic self, because that's what we're about in Rebel World. Tell us about some of the main kind of catalysts or experiences that you've had that have, I'm particularly interested in your corporate life, you know, sort of, you know, different cells that you've had perhaps, and how you've been brave about the choices you've made to kind of go, well, do you know what, this is me, world, have me or don't, up to you.
Corporate life is something that I've always been in from kind of leaving university. So I get a business degree at university, and obviously the young, very naive self that I was walked straight into a manager's role. I've done a business degree. I've used that business degree since. Haven't at all. So went to work in a contact centre at British Gas. But very quickly kind of found my love for that development of people, coaching, and found that actually it was a very natural thing for me. And even now when people kind of do in corporate world, what type of a coach are you? What's your learning style? I'm just like, just talk. Just happens. Just how do you plan for a coaching session? Happen. So it's always been one of those conflicting things in my head as the corporate world, because it's so red tape and there's so many rules that you have to abide by, and I'm quite a quick decision maker, a quick creative person, and once I've made a decision on something, it's like boom, 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 let's get on and do it. Whereas 9 times out of 10 in the corporate world, they're like, wait, no, absolutely not, slow your horses down, which can become really frustrating. So I found that meant that I moved around different businesses within corporate. After learning my trade in British Gas for many, many years, I moved around and went to new start companies, went through the fitness industry, as you can tell. Went to water companies, but ultimately always wanted to be kind of in charge of my own destiny. So that's where I am now, kind of in that straddling world of corporate life and doing my own thing.
Are you a good straddler?
I'm a good straddler. I'm the best. better put a response onto that one. And it's kind of the element of where I am in the corporate world and how I've kind of grown up with it, I suppose you'd say, is it's given me a voice. And I will always tell people, especially going back to the conversation we had a bit earlier about being Northern and all of that, that actually my voice is my superpower. Because one of the things that I can attest to is I can kind of bring people along on a journey and kind of get them engaged and get them believe your struggles. I can do that engagement. I can think, this is a great idea. This is how we're going to do it. And this is how we're going to move forward. So I always attested that my next corporate role, I would break the mold. And I'm doing just that within the good old water industry, where people are sitting up and listening. I've got the voice of people and people development on the board, which is absolutely fantastic. But also I had a moment where I pulled on my big girl pants and thought, right, okay, because of certain, like, so me and Lurker are buying our dream house. So coming out of the corporate world, it just wasn't the right time to do that, because then also the bank kind of looks at you and goes, you're self-employed. We're not touching you with a badge.
Yeah, we're going to need 3 years.
Need 3 years of £3 million a year. So staying in the corporate was a life choice as well. For the dream house, we're going to have a Rebels get together at the dream house. It's going to be bloody amazing.
Yes. Don't know who this comment is from, by the way, but absolutely agree.
I reckon that's Jamie. I recognise Jamie's style now.
Oh yeah, it's a blue heart. Of course, it's Jamie.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Jamie.
So I approached the big corporate and went, okay, this is what I want, or I'm saying goodbye. And some work I've done recently with an absolutely wonderful lady called Juanita. Look her up. She's absolutely phenomenal.
Juanita Dalloway.
Juanita Dalloway. We talked about sometimes when you ask yourself questions, what's that voice that answers you? And is it a child? And how old is that child? So when I had that conversation, that 9-year-old little girl inside me was going, oh, God, no. They're going to say, well, get out. Get out. Tough. Don't you dare ultimate us. Get out.
Ultimate. I love that. Don't you ultimate me.
Don't you ultimate me. So my big girl head was going, nah, I'm worth this. Well, little Leckers, because I'm in the corner, was going, oh God, don't do it, it's going to break us.
Oh God.
But the big girl won. And I said, you know, if you want this, I want this.
Yeah.
And they pretty much straight away went, yeah, all right then. And then my big girl went, shit, you could have asked for more there. We're not greedy. So I'm now in that wonderful position where I am very grateful that I have the autonomy in the corporate world to be a rebel. And I have a team in there of fabulous rebels. Jill Bloodworth, who you know, who is one of our lovely R&R people, is a member of my team. She's absolutely fabulous. And because she knows this stuff, few of the others, so Cat Walker, it's like a radio gig this. I'm doing call outs and shout outs.
A radio gig, I love it.
Cat Walker, Dulls, they're all in R&R.
Yeah.
So they get it when I talk. They get it when I kind of do that rebellious thing and say, like, rip up the rule book and let's do something different.
Oh, that really helps, I imagine, doesn't it?
Massively helps. And I've got kind of a leadership team who get it as well, because I kind of go, this is the why, and if you don't do it like this, then you're not going to get this, and this is what you're ultimately striving for. But then also that availability to put my heart and soul into my business and what I do best. It is a fledgling business. It's still very much embryonic at the moment. Is it what I want it to be? Or where would it? No, it's not at the moment.
I feel a coaching session coming on, Lisa. We need to book in that, don't we? In a while.
It was 2 years ago. Absolutely. It was like, bish, bish, bish. This is what it's going to be. But now I'm just like...
Well, the thing is, you've changed. And what I notice is when you've got a small business, if you can create a concept, and that's fantastic, but if you aren't entrepreneurial in the sense that, not a traditional entrepreneur necessarily, but in the sense that you're always open to the growth that you get from being in business, then your business will naturally change. Because if you create something and try and have it set in stone for the next even year or two, quite often you couldn't find yourself flogging a dead horse, because it's no longer who you are. It no longer represents who you are. And I think this is, one of the things that we'll probably find really interesting when we work with SME clients with Rebel Inspire, because though, we're going to be working with business leaders who've created businesses that, several years down the line may not represent the original vision that they had, or that they wouldn't even necessarily have that vision anymore if they were envisaging their business now. I'm not going to say envisioning, because that's American, and I am in fact British. Envision. So what was my point? Yeah, so the last couple of years you've changed a lot, not in terms of your value system and who you are at your core, but in terms of your belief system and your growth and your self-confidence and your perspective on the world and all of those things. So of course your business should shift along with that. Yeah, that's my view anyway.
Exactly. And it's time to start kind of thinking about that now. I've got the availability to be able to put that time in to think about that. And one of the things I love more than anything is change. Thanks, Jamie. Shout out to you, Jamie, dear.
And then H gives us a lovely bit of wisdom to give us some good
absolutely
balance.
And that's it. I love change. I'm very much a change agent. I love change. I thrive on change. And if I don't have change, I kind of get very kind of stale and complacent and just a bit more. So to change things up, and it's almost like you said, it's that visionary thinking of, oh, actually there's this and this, which I didn't think about 2 years ago, because I wasn't meant to think about it 2 years ago. I was meant to go on this journey and think about it now. So whatever's coming now, whatever changes are happening, one of the ways I have changed is being a more open person spiritually.
Yes.
100%. I've always had a spiritual side, but it's always been one of those things that's pushed away because life is so busy. Where
I've compartmentalized outside of work as well.
Yeah. Whereas now I'm just like, come on then, what have you got? So, and that is taking me down very different paths, and I'm just allowing it to take me down those paths. It's all, I almost liken it to kind of if I take Neve to the park and she'll go, Mummy, let's go this way. It's just allowing that 6-year-old to go this path because it looks exciting.
And if the child makes that decision based on instinct and feeling, like there's not a huge amount of logic there, is there? It's kind of refreshing to go, be led like that. I think
be the child, let your child lead you, because your gut tells you things for a reason. The gut tells you how to garner relationships, where to put your energy into the most. Because one of the pots that I've fallen into in the past, and I still do it now, because I do think it's an inherent part of my personality, is people pleasing. I even am now a huge people pleaser. However, I've now got the confidence to go, actually, let's get the Libra scales out. Okay, so if I do this, how's it going to make me feel? If I don't do this, how's it going to make the other person feel? And let's just weigh it up like that, and then make the right decision. Whereas in the past, I was very much, I've got to help this person, I've got to support that person, I've got to go around and see that person, and oh, that person hasn't spoken to me for a while, so I'll contact that person, and I must take the girls around to see this person and that person and that person, which completely leads to you, A, losing yourself, and B, just being totally exhausted. It's absolutely unreal. So I kind of hit a point in my life where actually I let go of a lot of people out of my life. And that was that was bloody hard to do, because it's almost that, no, they need me. Well, no, Lisa, they don't need you, and you don't need them, more importantly. The people who you're meant to connect to. And we know ourselves, you'll go through life and you'll connect with different people, and they'll swim away, and some will swim back, and some will stay away, some might drown, hopefully, but
you're swimming away from the shot right now.
And it's about being comfortable with that, and I'm much more comfortable with that, in terms of only people pleasing when the person who's smiling is me.
Yeah.
Not in a selfish way.
Being selfish is important for, giving to others, though, isn't it? Great question from Tracy on that matter, in fact. Do you make a conscious effort to make time for yourself now, Lisa?
Do you know what? I can't even lie on this call, because Howard's downstairs listening in.
And he'll tell the world as well on the comments.
Tell the world. I try, but I often fail pretty miserably.
You know what Yoda says about try, don't you?
God loves a tryer.
Don't do that. There's no try.
So, but I put my Fitbit back on this weekend.
Hey.
I want to see if there is no challenge. There is no change. No chance. I expect to have something stuck in this. That is brilliant. That's really good. Yeah, but no, I'm walking again. I love my walking, and I read a lot. And this is Mrs. O'Rourke's fault. Well, not fault. It's a wonderful thing. I take inspiration from people around me. So I'm very much an extrovert, and I know it doesn't come across like that, but I'm being vulnerable and telling you I'm an extrovert. So I get my energy from people, and if I spend too long on my own, that's it. The demons start talking to you, and the world looks horrendous. But as soon as I speak to other people, I'm like, right, energized, blah, blah, blah. But I also take inspiration. So obviously, when Tracy started with the book challenge, I was like, but I used to read a lot. Why am I not reading more? And obviously started stalking her a bit, and looking at her reviews in the book. So bought a couple of the same books that she did, because I'm a stalker. But yeah, really enjoying reading again, which again gave me that escapism for a little bit more me time. So I can't walk and read, though. I found that to be really unhelpful.
Rippers is a big fan of audio reading and walking.
I can't. I like the music when I'm walking, because I genuinely pretend like I'm in a.
I actually worry though that you can't hear who's around you, like, because you're.
If it's in the summer and during the day, no. There's certain places I won't go. So not that I can live in a really rough area, but like the park near us, if it's dark and I've got headphones, I wouldn't, because there's no lighting. So that's a very, very silly thing to do. I wouldn't do that. So I am very careful. But I know I'm one of these people that I forget I've got headphones in and I sing. Pleasant for other people, because I genuinely believe I'm like in a band or something, and I've even in my head I make up the outfit that I'm wearing and the moves that I'm doing. It's like a whole piece. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
I forgot what I was going to say now. You're distracted me, making me laugh at that mental image. I can't remember what it was.
I'll do it as a live next time I'm doing it.
Yeah, do that. Would be so good.
Get to hear it.
That would be brilliant, actually. Well, you referenced one of your beautiful daughters, Neve. So you've got Neve and Charlie, both very different ages. And we've had conversations before about how you bring them up in a certain kind of way. So tell us about some of the key messages that you've given those girls as to sort of set them on their rebellious way in life.
They are both rebelliously unique in their own way, and I am super, super proud of them. So I have my beautiful Charlie, who's 21 in October. I had her when I was 5. And then we've got the absolutely crazy nutball that is Neve, who's
she's
6.
so funny.
She's a crackpot. Quite a big age difference in my 2 girls, but the same ethos in terms of bringing them up. So, you know, being a woman, and being a woman in my 40s and being brought up in the 80s and everything else, you know, I came from quite a traditional family where Dad worked away a lot, worked down London. He was a joiner, had his own joinery business. Mum pretty much brought the kids up, but then when we were all a bit older, got kind of a part-time cleaning job. And in no way a disrespectful way, I always kind of looked at that and thought, oh, God, I don't want that. I don't want that. So it was always very much, I've got one brother, he would get away with doing the chores because he was a boy. And the girls had to do it. So these were some beatings behind the back door because of that. But it was always something that stuck in my head in terms of just because you're a woman doesn't mean you can't have everything. You can have the children, you can have the career, and you can have a voice. And it's about that voice superpower again. So I've had various relationships in the past where you've been treated as the silly little woman, and your idea doesn't matter, your opinion doesn't matter, because after all, you're just a woman. And it's just been something that I have fought against majority of my adult life. And I had Charlie when I was 21, and I thought I knew the world then. I thought I was such a grown up. And she turns 21 in October, and I look at her and think, gosh, I had a baby when I was your age. You can't even look after yourself, kiddo. So, my God, how did I think I could have it? Even she looks at me now and goes, Mom, I just couldn't do it. Yeah. I don't feel able to. But in terms of that ethos, I've always been open and honest and just shown them that you can do whatever it is you want to do, and you can have everything. But that's sometimes sacrifice have to make. So with Charlie, for some of Charlie's upbringing, I was a single mom. I went out to work. She went into childcare. We, walked home on the dark, windy, cold nights. I could drive, but didn't have a car. Couldn't afford to have a car. But I always had those conversations of you can be whatever you want to be. Now, rather wonderfully, she started university during COVID, did her first year, and then came home and said, I can't, Mum. It's COVID. I'm not enjoying it. My mental health is suffering. I want to drop out. Okay. One of my clients that I was working with at the time said, could we use her for some part-time admin during the summer? Gives her a bit of money. Brilliant. She was there 2 days and they offered her a full-time job. So she's now working in construction in a male-dominated world, almost kind of being the operations manager for the business. And she's all over the socials. She's chasing people for invoices. She's telling me about dumper truck tire sizes. I have no idea what she's talking about.
She sounds a bit like me, but talking about cows and things.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the fact that, some of the stories she comes back with that, what the lads have said, what the lads have been bantering about, there's kind of your mum bit that goes, I'll kill him. They say anything like that to you, I'll kill him. But then the other part that goes, I'm super proud of you for the fact that you deal with it.
This girl got it.
Water off the duck's back. So she's really making waves there. And, the same with Neve. I was listening to Tracy's interview last week and what she was saying about her super, super gorgeous boy. It did remind me a lot of how I am with Neve, with that honesty. Neve is that kid where she'll want to dress herself. She'll wear odd shoes. She'll wear jeans with a tutu over the top. And then she'll wear a dress like that. Then fairy wings, and God knows she once went to put tails in her hair because that's what she wanted to do. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to tell you that. No, you can't do that. Your shoes have to match, and you can have one bobble in your hair, because whose convention is that? It's certainly not mine. So she thinks that's the world then putting that convention on her. And it's amazing where we'll walk down the street and the way people look at you, and they look at me as much as say, bloody hell, she can't even dress her own child, that one. I'm super proud of this little fairy walking at the side of me with odd shoes. Yeah. We went somewhere and she had a load of these, like the sticky gems you get when you go to festivals. Now, so you'll know it really well after this weekend.
Oh, I've had quite a few of them on my face, I tell you.
Yeah, well, we sat down, we'd gone for something to eat or something to drink. She said, Mummy, can I put these on you? And I was like, yeah. And I completely forgot they were on there. And I was thinking, people looking at, what's wrong with them? Went to the toilet, looked at them and went, oh yeah. Now, most people have gone, I'll take them off. I was like, looks great. Because actually, that made my little girl smile, that she's got a mum who will put herself out there, who doesn't go, oh, I'm not doing that because it's silly.
Who will wear her artistic.
Absolutely. I had like an old pair of wedges, and she's going through this fashion designer stage at the moment. So she said, have you got an old pair of shoes, Mummy? So we got the glue gun out, gave her this old pair of shoes. The next time we went for a meal, I wore those shoes because I was super proud that she'd done that. And then she was super proud because Mummy was wearing her shoes. So I suppose, long story short, it's just about making those two girls believe that they can be whatever they want to be, and they can do whatever they want to do. And just because you've got boobs, it doesn't stop you.
Too right. I love that. Jamie's saying that he's buying his daughter her first snake in the first year. I like the way that he said first snake, as if like every girl has to have a series. Now it's going to sound awful, but you know, every girl has to have a series of snakes in her life. And you know, we all remember our first snake, don't we?
Jamie, I can't tell my little one that, because she will want one. She's got a fascination with spiders and bugs and all of that. She's the one in the garden letting them crawl all over her. We once rescued a snail from the school playground. I thought it was an empty shell. It wasn't. That snail lived for a very long time. We bought it a tank.
I remember Neve playing that card game with me and tell me all about
Top Trumps.
Oh God, she's got so much knowledge. It was brilliant. I really loved that. It was so funny. Well, you know, speaking of snakes and non-snakes, right? So you've experienced a few male snakes in your life. See what I'm doing here? And you know, you bring up those beautiful two girls with Mr. Howard AVINS, who is also known as Chief Lurker, who is really an honorary master rebel, and does a great job of lurking in the background and imparting his wisdom through the various medium. And seamless. Thanks, Jamie. I'm a pro. I don't know what app. Maybe not.
Radio 1, our sort of move over, Sarah Cox, and all the rest of you. We're coming.
Oh dear! Shout out to Chief Lurker, indeed, Tracy. So we were, you know, speaking to Tracy last week about her and Rob actually, and what an amazing relationship they have. And you know, for me, it's massively, you know, couple goals. And you and H seem the same to me as well. I know you work extremely hard at your relationship, both of you. You know, to keep the fire alive and to keep the communication and to build that trust between the two of you as well. So what tips have you got for anyone, you know, having a relationship of any kind? You know, what is it you guys do to keep going and growing, you know, the way you are?
Patience.
With each other.
We talk and we have fun together. We laugh together, and he is my absolute rock. He really is. There's a reason why he's Chief Lurker. He would never kind of be openly on anything like this. Is that this is not him, but he's always the one behind, is kind of chipping in and say this, oh, tell him this. All right, you just jump on. But he's very much, he is my biggest fan, unequivocally. As much as I say with the girls, you can do anything, you can be anything, that's because I've got a husband who tells me that every single day, constantly does I am super proud of you and what you're doing. And I'm amazingly proud of him. You know, we've had a bumpy, with everybody's marriage and relationship, it's bumpy. You know, there's been mental health issues which have, you know, been difficult to deal with, but by sticking through it together and by being honest and allowing it to happen and play out. But as well, it's being relaxed and accepting those differences. So as much as I was saying, you know, I get my energy from other people. I like being with other people. I like being around other people. And I'm very much a planner. So if there's a space on the kitchen family calendar on a Saturday, I'm like, oh, what are we doing that Saturday? What we got planned? Da, 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 da. Whereas Howard's very much like, nothing. I don't want to do anything, because his energy comes from actually, I'm happy staying at home for the weekend, relaxing, not having any plans, bottle of wine, watching a movie. Whereas I'm very much, what we doing?
I'm more in H's camp. Like, if I can see a whole weekend stretching ahead of me with no plans, I'm like, oh God, that feels glorious.
Well, I'm good if it's one in a few.
Yeah.
But then after a few, I'm just like, okay, what we doing then? What we doing? But just
not every weekend. Yeah.
Happily hibernate. Absolutely happily hibernate. But we've learned that there's that balance where I've learned to step back and go, okay, that's fine, because I know you need to recharge. I know you need to get your energy from that. And he'll do the okay, we'll get together with friends and stuff, because I know you need to do that, and you need to recharge that way. I know it sounds awfully cliched, and I apologize. If you want to switch off now, viewers, you can please do, but send in your song requests first, and we'll play them for you. Don't go to bed angry with each other. There is never a night, and I can honestly say this from my heart, even if I've been away with work or whatever else, there has never, ever been a night where we haven't told each other we love each other before we've gone to sleep or one of us gone to bed, because it is so important. And it's not just a throwaway comment. I genuinely, with every beat of my heart, adore and love that man. He's absolutely, I wouldn't be doing this without him being stood behind me.
Yeah, he's always been so supportive. I love how he's sort of quite happy he'd be the one shining the limelight for you to step into, won't he? He's brilliant. Really cool.
He's holding the ring light. He's holding the ring light, dude.
Too right. Do you still do that thing where you have like you cook a 3-course meal? You take
it's date nights. Absolutely, yeah. So we started our date nights in lockdown. And then Charlie quite rudely got independent and moved out. It's like got a mother and forces her to be independent. So we've got a 6-year-old, so obviously big raucous nights out don't happen all too often. But we put Chad bed in and we take it in turns, and we do a 3-course meal and turn the kitchen into a restaurant and chat. And do that, and
we've seen some amazing things come out of that kitchen. MK particularly was always a fan of the menus.
They always come for in the spinny chair.
The spinny chair. We need MK in that spinny chair, the infamous spinny chair. So we've got from Jamie, 3 keys to an amazing relationship. Find someone who, 1, communicates with you. Yes. 2, cares for you. Yes. 3, cooks amazing food, but never let these 3 people meet.
You realise hatred versus different people. Yeah.
Jamie, you put your secret out into the world. Never mind Facebook user as some kind of like
we know it's you. We know
it's you. You're giving it away with your little blue heart. There we go. Tips for relationship goals there for everyone. So something else you're pretty good at, as well as keeping relationships and parenting, is learning and personal growth. And we spoke about how that's been your career really for a long time. Yes, Jamie busted. So you being also a learning based professional myself, you can often find yourself preaching a lot of good wisdom. It's not so easy to actually practice what we preach, though, is it, all of the time? So how good are you at that?
Oh mate, I'm absolutely rubbish. I just talk a good game. I do. I talk a really good game, but actually doing it myself is just I'm very much as I do as I say, not as I do. I think it's what you tend to do, especially in the learning profession, is you go to the bottom of the pile each and every time. And not from a bad way, it's just because life
you're a service giver.
Yeah. Absolutely. And kind of the one thing, and bringing it back to the corporate world, you know yourself, when you're in a learning and development space within the corporate world, not one person will ask how your development's going because you are the development guru.
No, they will, but they will ask you, how do I get a job like yours? How do I get to be a, you know,
your job is really fun. I'd like to
yeah.
don't see the hard work behind the scenes that's going on, do you?
Oh God, I had that.
You don't see the swan's feet going like this. You just see me going, "Hey, look at this PowerPoint."
Yeah. Your job looks really fun. Oh God, that I've had that so many times. I'm like, well, it is, yes, but also it's like being a rock star and thinking that, you know, looking at a rock star on stage and thinking, well, that'd be great fun if you did that for a living, but you don't see all the rehearsals, heartache, creative strife that goes on in the background. Do you find yourself, so one of the things I find when I'm doing my various versions of my career is that I end up giving people life skills. So it might be a course or a workshop on, you know, I don't know, having difficult conversations or some brave conversations or resilience or something like that, or customer experience and communication. And actually the stuff that's contained within that is, and I will openly talk about this now, this stuff changes your entire life, you know? And I find that, you know, I pretty much know the answer to this, that, you know, that you'll be the same as me, that is not only an incredibly exciting position to be in, but actually a privilege, because people look at you as a role model, don't they?
Absolutely. Sometimes it's quite humbling because you don't really recognize in your head what you are doing for other people. And when they come and say, you know, I've used this or changed the way I speak to people, or I'm doing things in a different way, you're like, all right, okay, well done, because you've done it, they've done it. But they can't do it without it being facilitated from the other way around. So it is a massively, and I have so much gratitude for the career I have, because hell, 14-year-old Lisa didn't want to be a learning and development professional. I don't know what the hell it was, to be honest.
What child grows up and goes, I want to train people.
I want to be an L&D. What? Idiot. I want to be an actress, darling. I want to be a radio presenter. Hey,
I would like to be an employee engagement officer. Really? Do you want to try train driver instead?
I would like to be a recruitment coordinator. It's never going to happen. I look at that kid and think there's something wrong there. There's something wrong. But it's a really, I'm so grateful for the position, because I've met some wonderful, wonderful people on the way who I know I've personally influenced and personally supported on their journey, which is a great feeling to have, to know that, and a really humbling feeling. And long may that continue. Long may I kind of touch people.
Right, that's the quote from this interview. Long may
I touch people. Long may I influence their positive lifelong journey.
Oh dear. Now, despite our ridiculousness, we getting very good compliments here from our fellow team members, our Rebel Squaddies.
Sarah Cox is no longer giving me a job. Gosh.
Long may I touch people. Now, apart from your ability to touch people deeply,
squid arms are coming out.
Oh God. Apart from that, what would you say? What would you say you're most proud of in your life? Hold it together, Emma. Hold it together.
Not being arrested. No, there is something that I am eternally proud of, and I'm not a person that gives myself positive compliments at all. I'm one of those people, if people give me a compliment, I think they're doing it for an untoward way, if that makes sense. Right. Really weird.
Right,
yeah, but one of the things I am proud of is that I'm kind. Yeah, I am a kind person, and it's one of my mantras. If we were all just kind to each other, it would be a much, much nicer place. And I am a huge Doctor Who fan. I have Mr. Capaldi on my desk here.
Hello.
And when he was regenerating, and I'm talking geek talk here, when he was regenerating, he did a speech on being kind and the power of being kind. And it's just one of those things where it sounds like the simplest thing to be. It's not. It's really difficult to be kind all the time. But I genuinely believe that is something that is at the heart and soul of me.
I absolutely echo that. I massively agree with it. You are a naturally kind person. It's not something you work at. You know, it's just in you, and it oozes from you. You know. Much better world if kindness was more popular. I agree, Nadia. Now, also, you sparked my imagination there with the Doctor Who regeneration thing, because I think that might be a good rebel archetype for us to talk about. Rebel inspire-wise.
Yes.
You might have to teach me about said Doctor, though, because I don't know too much actually about them.
Booking it in. I could bore you but I won't touch you at the same time.
Oh, it's a shame. Oh well, never mind. So based on, you know, we've talked about, covered quite a lot of ground there. What would you say, you know, because one of the things I find eternally interesting about this whole rebel movement is hearing about people's different versions of rebellion, because I think it's, you know, I think we all have our perception of what rebellion is, but we also have our own version of what rebellion is for our own personal lives. You know, what does it mean for you? What are you rebelling against?
I think for me, it's about trusting yourself and having strength of character. That although being a rebel might seem this big scary world because you're fighting against the establishment or doing something out there, it's not. It's getting out of bed every single day. It's making one person smile every single day.
Even if it's yourself.
Even if it's yourself, it's reaching out to that. You know, Sarah Millican. I love Sarah Millican.
Long may you touch yourself.
Long may you touch yourself. Long may you not get arrested for that. Long may you sing in the street very loudly and dance to your own tune. Because all those people who look at you funnily out of the corner of the eye just wish they were you.
Agreed. You were referencing Sarah Millican there.
Yes, so Sarah Millican did I love her because she's very honest, and she did a wonderful thing. And she said she went through a period of trying to be comfortable with herself. So she spent every morning staring in the mirror without any makeup on and just looking until she got to the stage, she said, where she looked and she went, "Hello, beautiful. Look at you. You're great." And it's that comfortableness to go, actually, I'm pretty amazing. Yeah.
It is nice when you have those moments, isn't it, of clarity, and you think, actually, I'm a decent person. Like I like this person. We all have our foibles and our own, you know, hang-ups and things. But if you can, on a fairly regular basis, look in the mirror and go, I like you, you know, then I think that's a pretty good place to be, isn't it?
It is.
But it takes work. It's constant, you know.
It's a constant battle. Absolutely constant battle. Yes, you are.
You're more than okay.
You are superb. Superb.
Yeah, it's a constant. You know, happiness is not. You don't attain happiness, and that's it. Sorted, boxed off. Check. It's being happy is hard work, isn't it? Being happy.
You are happiness, and those levels of happiness will dip and change and become higher up than anything else. But you are happiness.
Yeah, it's micro decisions all the time, isn't it? And micro choices, absolutely. So, you know, you've come to a good place, I think, in life right now, haven't you? And you're about to celebrate your 40-something birthday. Your 23rd birthday.
My 23rd birthday with a little bit of VAT.
And you know, you've definitely achieved a lot of stuff. You know, even in the short time I've known you, I've seen you achieve loads, and I'm really proud of you, actually, and I'm really proud to know you, and I'm really proud to call you a friend, and I'm certainly very proud to have you on the Rebel squad and forging ahead with the Rebel Inspire stuff as well. So, you know, but being that you've had all sorts of life experience that's got you to this point, and sometimes, you know, there's suffering and pain that we have to experience to get to the good places. What advice would you have for people who are trying to, you know, be their full unapologetic selves?
Don't give up, and don't let anybody tell you to stop. If those people tell you to stop, they don't want you to succeed, because they know how bloody amazing you're going to be at the end of that journey. So never, even if that success is just getting out of bed and going downstairs and making a cup of tea, you bloody take it as a success. Success isn't about the big things. Joy and happiness is not about the big things. It's about those tiny little things, and you celebrating them, and celebrate your own successes. Yeah. And share them. I'm rubbish at sharing things. I generally tend to kind of go, look what I've done.
Like shouting out, you know, your good stuff.
Yeah. Shout it and share it with people, because the correct people in your life will want to celebrate it with you. And even if that is, do you know what? I like bright colours. She says wearing bloody black. But I went through a phase because of body image and everything else where I didn't wear anything bright. And then I spotted a neon bright orange shirt.
Oh, I love neon.
I love putting that on, because that is unapologetically me. And that is me celebrating me and going, hey, I've arrived. So arrive, and arrive in style.
Oh, I love that. Arrive in style. What a beautiful, beautiful piece of wisdom to, in fact, close our interview on. Well, I've had so much fun doing that. I've had a proper good laugh. We've got to know you better. We've had some great comments. We've had some great support. We're going to make sure that we get all the Master Rebels more well known in the group. We're going to be doing some more focusy stuff in the next few months. But I think that's been a really revealing conversation, actually, and also a very funny one. Now, one thing I would like us to try is to just see, because we're birthday twinnies, to see if we can get our faces to line up. Oh, it's really difficult. It's well tricky. There you go. Because we don't do things normally here. Now, do you think that will have clinched us the Radio 1 deal or not?
Radio 2 is calling, I think. I prefer Radio 2.
Yeah,
definitely Radio 2. Ken Bruce, move over. The Pop Masters are here.
Well, on that note, I hope that's brightened up your Sunday evening, everybody. It certainly has done mine. If you're not in the Rebels and Rule Breakers group, Facebook group, come join us. What the hell are you doing? Why are you still not with us? Thank you for observing us live, and also if you're observing us in the future, tell us if you're watching us on replay, and if you want to catch this in an easy way and the rest of the Master Rebel series, go to the Emma Shaw Chief Rebel YouTube channel. I think we've got like 50 subscribers now. It's huge.
I'm over here, Madly.
We'd love to see how you, how well this was received, and have your comments, and to help you do your rebellious journey. So if you need to talk to any of us on the Master Rebel team about doing rebellion, then we're here. Happy Sunday, everybody. Go into Monday with full force, just like our Avinator here will be, I'm absolutely sure. Thank you so much, Lisa. I love you to bits. I will see you in the green room in a moment.
It's definitely like radio.
I know. Chief Rebel and Lisa AVINS out. Keep rebelling, everybody, and we'll see you soon.